The next 2 days will be extremely crucial in Karnataka as the political saga continues. Now, tomorrow, the Supreme Court will give us its verdict on the plea by the rebel MLAs against the Speaker. Now, the rebel MLAs from the Congress and the JDS are those MLAs who are seeking direction. They want the Supreme Court to tell the Speaker of the Assembly to accept their resignations. So, which is why they've gone to court. And that verdict is likely to come in tomorrow. On Thursday, Kumaraswamy's government will face the floor test and they will have to prove their numbers to see whether or not they are able to hold on to this government. Although, if we look at the numbers right now, it seems unlikely. But first, let's get an update from the Supreme Court. Meenakshi Banja, my colleague, is live at this point from New Delhi. Meenakshi, there obviously have been observations in court today. The Chief Justice was presiding. Is the court likely to weigh in on the Speaker's decision? Because up until now, the court has refused to do so in previous cases.
Well, that's right, Faye, and that's the interesting argument point which was emphasized by Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi. And remember, Faye, you were at the helm when the midnight saga of advancing the floor test for Yediyurappa that time had played out in the Supreme Court, and that battle royale pretty much continues in present date. Now, the problem here is a pretty simple one. Abhishek Manu Singhvi telling the Supreme Court that since the Speaker hasn't acted in any manner yet, he has neither acted on the resignation part, he has neither decided on the disqualification part. So how can the Supreme Court step in and pass directions to a constitutional body, that of a Speaker, to act in a certain way when he has not acted in any manner whatsoever thus far? Now, that is the point of contention which is making these MLAs also a tad uncomfortable, because remember, the other side, in this particular instance, the Speaker, the coalition government side, is urging upon the Supreme Court that two aspects, the disqualification aspect and the resignation aspect, both are intertwined. And the Speaker, therefore, has to do all due diligence, mull over all the facts that have been presented to him, and then he can proceed in a set manner, whether he decides on the disqualification part first, because remember, if he decides on the disqualification part, then these MLAs pretty much serve no purpose for the sake of new government formation. So therefore, it is an uncomfortable situation for them to be in, and which is why we've had former Attorney General Mukul Rohtgi press upon the Supreme Court that it should pass directions to the Speaker to accept their resignations pronto. He said this essentially, that these resignations are voluntary. They've said so in writing that they do not want to be a part of this government. This government is in a minority, and therefore the Speaker is under a bounden duty to accept it as soon as possible. On the other hand, the coalition government has pressed before the Supreme Court that it is for the Speaker to first decide whether he wants to take a call on the disqualification aspect of the MLAs and then go ahead and decide on the resignation part. So we've had some interesting but very circumspect observations coming from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has observed that it cannot fetter the powers of the Speaker, but at the same time it also indicated that it could be mulling over a middle path to sort of like arrive at some balancing act to not allow the Speaker unmitigated powers as well, Faye.
All right. Thank you, Meenakshi. And of course, we'll have that final decision tomorrow. But also joining us from Bangalore, Amita Balchandra, and we have Neha as well, Neha Hebale. Ladies, good evening and thank you for joining us. Amita, reporting from the Taj West End, tracking the BJP. Amita, none of these MLAs have actually gone back to their homes for the last couple of days. They've actually hopped from one resort to the other. Could you tell us what the status is of the BJP right now? Are they looking forward to that floor test, or they're actually making sure that none of their MLAs slip away from them either?
Well, that's correct. In fact, since last night, we understand B.S. Yediyurappa, party chief, is a hold-up in the resort at Ramada Resort in the outskirts of Bengaluru is what we're hearing. In fact, in our conversations just a little while ago with a couple of members of the BJP, they said that they've had a lot of time to relax. They're very confident. We heard B.S. Yediyurappa speak to Mirror Now earlier as well and say that he is 101% confident, and hence that's why perhaps they even went ahead and played cricket. There are images of B.S. Yediyurappa playing cricket with the BJP MLAs today at Ramada Resort as well. So it seems like the next 2 days they're going to just relax is what they're saying, considering saying they're very confident that they have the numbers and that they will, they will pass the floor test with a big margin is what we are hearing from the BJP camp at least. They also said that their next strategy will only be chalked out after the Supreme Court verdict tomorrow.
All right, quick update also from Neha Hebali, who's been tracking the Congress JDS. Neha, good evening. Could you take us through the numbers again? Have the numbers changed in any way? We know that there was one Mr. Nagraj who decided to come back to the fold of Congress JDS, but then changed his mind again and was seen catching a flight to Mumbai with the rest of his BJP buddies or his colleagues. What are the numbers as they stand today? Have there been any changes today?
Well, Faye, for now, there have not been any changes from yesterday. What we've been seeing is that while the Congress JDS combined has 101 along with the Speaker, you have the JDS and the, beg your pardon, you have the BJP here that stands at 105. So even in the likelihood that we're talking about the disqualification of these MLAs or them not being allowed to vote in the trust vote for whatever reason, the BJP still has a good clear majority here. 105 is what they require because the halfway mark is 104. And for the Congress and the JDS combined to get to that number, or to get at least another, to surpass the BJP here and ensure that there's no tiebreaker here at least, they would have to manage to get at least a good 5 to 6 MLAs to withdraw their resignation. And with just a day left now, that is not really, a very feasible task, is what a lot of people have been saying. Because we've been seeing efforts in the past that have failed. We've seen DK Shivakumar, who tried coming down to Mumbai, approaching the rebels, trying to convince, trying to get through, talk to some of them when they themselves, sort of refused. They've denied that they want to meet him. So that's one thing. Secondly, also, if you look at this point of time, it seems like the Congress JDS combined does not have much of an option. They're just going to have to wait and watch as to what really happens. All eyes would be on the Supreme Court's decision tomorrow, but we'll really have to wait and watch. But for now, what we have is that if you even take the support of the two independents as well, who could sway to any of the parties at any time, all they require is a little money and the promise of being given power. So if at all they also manage to support the Congress and the JDS combined, then even then the coalition government would still require at least another 2 or 3 MLAs to join their side. And in the likelihood that we see a tiebreaker in the trust vote, as in when the trust vote happens on Thursday, depending on the number of people, number of MLAs that arrive for the trust vote that actually vote on that day, if you have a tiebreaker between the Congress JDS and the BJP, that's when the Speaker's vote comes into play. So we'll have to wait and watch as to what really happens.
All right, Neha, thank you so much for taking us through those numbers. Neha and Amita have been bringing us updates from Bangalore. And of course, like we said, it's going to get more and more interesting. Just to give our audience an understanding of why this is so important at this time. So there is a total of 224 seats in the assembly in Karnataka. There's 225, one is nominated, so that one doesn't really vote. Now, out of the 224, there's the Speaker, and the Speaker may not vote until after it comes down to the wire at this point. Now, of these 224, so that took the midpoint to 112, right? At 112, now we've got 16 people who have likely put in their resignations. Now, when 16 people have put in their resignations, it brings the number down and brings the middle ground down to 208, which means 104 is now the midpoint, and if you have 105, then you clearly have the majority. The BJP has 105, and the Congress. DK Shivakumar is on the phone line. All right, we have Mr. DK Shivakumar on the phone line. Mr. Shivakumar, good evening. This is Faye D'souza from the Mirror Now studio. Namaskara. If you could just tell us, Mr. Shivakumar, are you confident at this point of making the numbers for the Karnataka Assembly floor test on Thursday?
Now, Thursday, we are going to move a confidence motion. And the debate may take for a day, 2 days, or anything may happen because a lot of speakers will have to speak from both the sides.
Haley sir. Namaskar. Haley sir, you said the there will be time allotted for debate, after which there will be a confidence motion. But do you have the numbers for the confidence motion, Mr. Shivakumar?
Definitely, we have the numbers. Because one thing is that they have been taken away from the BJP, and BJP have locked them. They're not allowing them to speak. They have locked them in the room. Whether I don't know. They have been kept in the captive. I've been receiving a call from all over the constituency and their family members that They have been locked and they have been kept, and they may not be brought here back to the voting. So this is the biggest problem. Let me see tomorrow after the Supreme Court judgment, whatever it is between the Speaker and the court and the members which we have applied. We don't want to intervene in all this issue. And let they come out with the, let us watch the judgment, then we'll comment much more on this issue.
Shiv Kumar, the ministers who have, the MLAs who have gone to court asking for the court to intervene at this point are unlikely to take back their resignations. So are you telling us that the shortfall of numbers for the Congress JDS will come from the BJP camp?
First, they are very intelligent people. All of them are there. I think they have a good sense will prevail upon them. We are still confident that they all will come back because they are mature, very senior people. No one will try to lose the membership. Anti-defection law is very strong in this country. The law is very strong. I think why they will lose their membership, if they lose their membership, they can't become ministers anywhere. All these issues are there. I think BJP is trying to misguide those my friends. I think today or tomorrow, some good sense will prevail upon them, and I am confident that they all will come back.
Mr. Shiv Kumar, there was an allegation that was made by your party that there was 1,000 crore rupees being distributed by the BJP to these rebel MLAs. Is there any evidence of that, of that kind of money so far? Do you have any evidence for that to back that allegation?
Yeah, I think whoever has spoken, I think they may have that information, but I can't speak much on that. Which I only believe in what I see. I don't believe what I hear.
Also, Mr. Shiv Kumar, you yourself flew to Mumbai in an attempt to meet with these rebel MLAs and have a conversation, but they've refused to meet you. So, how are you confident that they will change their mind?
I know. I don't want to tell why I flew them without a purpose. I never flew them, or I'm not a fool to just come over there and stand on the streets of Bombay. I had an invitation. I don't want to disclose what was the invitation. With authority, with giving my official tour program, official booking. I just wanted to come and enter and speak to them. Anyway, BJP were very smart. The government was very smart. They never allowed me. They used the police. They used my hotel. They never allowed us. Okay, it is fine. Okay, it is a part of a political game. But it is very bad on the Bombay municipality, bad on the government of Maharashtra. And this is a very bad precedent they shown. I'm not a terrorist. I've not come to fight with them. I just come with an open heart to meet them. They are my friends from past 40 years. It is very shame on Indian democracy.
Mr. Shiv Kumar, when you landed in Mumbai, there was nobody from your party, from the Mumbai branch of the Congress, to receive you at the airport, to accompany you to the hotel. One understands that you were seeking directions from the press that was with you at the time. Is there a lack of coordination in the Congress party and a lack of leadership from the national...
I did not inform anyone. I don't want their support. I know 144 section is there. I don't want anyone to receive me also, anyone to take me also. We just came because in 144, more than 4 people will be arrested. So that we know the law of this country. So we came, only 4 of us came, 2 ministers, 2 legislators came. And one day on the invitation we came, which I didn't want any help from any local people or anything. Why you need it? It is a very, very safe country. India is a very safe country, which we all of us tell. Even the midnight, anyone can walk. Any small common man will walk. What is there for me? I have full confidence in the Maharashtra police and the government, but politically they have been handled. But let us see.
Mr. Shiv Kumar, what according to you is the likelihood that Karnataka will go into fresh elections, and if that is the case, is your party ready?
See, any political party has to be ready at any point of time, either we or anyone. We don't have any option.
Yes.
We don't have any option, but still I have confidence that the secular government and the present leadership will continue and will complete our term.
Shiv Kumar, one day last prashne. You are, until you resigned recently, the Water Resources Minister of the state of Karnataka. There is a severe water problem that the citizens of Bangalore and parts of Karnataka are facing. Is there a solution that the government is working on?
No, I have not resigned. I am a minister.
Okay.
Minister. We have given up our ministership for the party, to strengthen the party.
Okay.
But still nothing has been accepted. Today also I have been replied in the House of Karnataka. Bangalore, we know we will protect the Bangalore, and we will see that at any point of time we are going to sort out the issue. There is no point of time for drinking water is concerned.
Yes, so right now there's only Kaveri water is coming to Bangalore homes only once a week or twice a week. Is there an alternative solution that you're looking at?
No, I don't want to comment much on that this point of time. But as far as Bangalore is concerned, we are well equipped with good resources of water.
I want to differ with you on this one point, Mr. Shiv Kumar, because I'm aware of the fact that the drinking water supply has actually come down drastically in Bangalore. The water table is down as well, and there's a tanker mafia that's operating in the city.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
We are well equipped. We will keep the Bangaloreans very safe. We will provide them a good water. That is what from the government I can assure you.
Okay, Mr. DK Shivakumar, there, Minister of Karnataka, thank you for speaking with us. The two problems are obviously he is considered a strong man as far as negotiations is concerned. So he's again the point person between the Congress, JDS and their 16 rebel MLAs that he's going to try and bring back into the fold. The second problem that I would have liked an answer to is the fact that he's the Water Resources Minister of the state of Karnataka, and there is not just a drought but a drinking water crisis in some parts of the city, in some parts of the state, and of course in the capital city of Bangalore. DK Shivakumar joining us on the phone line. There are two very crucial days coming up for the government of Karnataka and the political parties in that state.